I'm a sweet and spicy boy. What's up, everybody? I'm here to showcase this extremely fun and crazy combo deck that is a twist on a classic Cerebro 3 deck. Okay, mainly with the addition of Arnim Zola to really create some crazy possibilities, crazy turn 6 plays, and surprise your opponents and maybe take some big 8 cube wins along the way. So I'm going to give a deck preview, really go into detail of why I have each card in here, as well as some possible replacements if you don't have all the cards or you want to try something else out. Then I'll go into a turn-by-turn breakdown of what a game played with this deck could look like, and then we'll get into some real live gameplay. So as always, I do have timestamps in the video, so feel free to jump ahead. And before we get into it, remember to hit that subscribe button. Let's go. So here is this Cerebro 3 with Valkyrie plus Zola combo deck. Now, most cards are pretty standard Cerebro deck cards, right? You've got Cerebro plus Mystique. That's really your main source of power. That's that ongoing power you want. We've got Luke Cage in here to negate any debuffs. Also extremely strong right now with still the presence of high evolutionary and cards like Wasp, the Thing, and Cyclops that will give your card some debuffs. So Luke Cage completely negates that. He's awesome here. We've got just some general disruption encounters with Shang-Chi being able to kill your opponent's cards, as well as Killmonger. And we've got Absorbing Man in here to copy any of the on-reveal effects. If you need to hit your opponent with it again, maybe you need to pull up a second Shang-Chi or Valkyrie effect. And if you don't have Arnim Zola, or the location has more than one card in it and you cannot reliably hit that card with Arnim Zola, Absorbing Man is a good second option. We also have Magik in here just to extend the game a little bit, give you more time to draw your cards. Rhino and Magik are great at getting rid of annoying locations. And of course, we have Bast to hopefully hit Cerebro, Luke Cage, Mystique, and or Arnim Zola and buff them up to a base of 3 power, and then they'll get the Cerebro buffs as well. Now, for possible replacements, there are a lot of options. Okay, this is a Cerebro 3 deck. Any card that has 3 power is honestly a viable option here. So feel free to just put in your favorite cards if they have 3 power, mix and match. You can definitely play around with it, especially if you're missing some of these cards, if you don't have pool 3 complete yet. There are no pool 4 or 5 cards in this deck, but maybe you have some that you want to use as replacements. You can even use a card like Wasp, who only has 1 power, but because she costs 0, she's a great target for Bast or Valkyrie. Okay, so really a ton of options, especially with Valkyrie in here and Bast, able to kind of reset a card's power, bring it to the level you want, which is 3. And then of course, we've got Arnim Zola in here. His main goal is to either hit Valkyrie or Cerebro, so that way you get 2 copies of them by the end of the game. But you could even hit something like Shang-Chi with Zola if your opponent is just playing a bunch of massive cards and you need to teach them a lesson. So the win conditions for this deck are pretty simple. You're going to hit something with Zola, like Valkyrie or even Cerebro, or you're just going to come up with some nice raw power with the classic Cerebro plus Mystique combo. Okay, you could even Cerebro, Mystique, and then Zola the Cerebro, so you have 3 of them on the board, right? There are options. You're going with raw power, or you're going with Valkyrie to really negate your opponent's strong cards, set their cards to 3, and have all your 3 power cards buffed up by Cerebro. Now let's get into our mock board gameplay example. Turn 1, if you have Bast, you probably want to play her. Okay, if all the cards in your hand are already 3 power, that's okay. If you have some 2-drops you want to play, maybe you've got Sentinel or Luke Cage, you know you're going to be busy on turn 2, you can play Bast on turn 1 even if you don't have an amazing hand for her, just because you can power her up with Valkyrie. Okay, at a minimum, Bast is a body on the board. She's a target for Valkyrie to buff up to 3 power. Turn 2, we're looking to put some 3 power cards on the board. You're likely going to be playing Sentinel or Luke Cage here. So Sentinel is great because it means on turn 4, you can then do Sentinel and Luke Cage also, right? If you play Luke Cage on turn 2, Turn 4, you might just have Sentinel or some 3-drops as an option. You may not be able to play 2 cards. So for this example, we'll say you got Sentinel down and you just slapped them in the middle lane. You really want to leave one lane open for a nice Arnim Zola target. Okay, so right now we're just going to be focusing on 2 lanes. Now we could get Cerebro down as early as turn 3. Often you might want to save Cerebro plus Mystique for a turn 6 play, but if we do have something like Valkyrie plus Zola in our hand, that's going to take up our turns 5 and 6. Okay, so we can play Cerebro right on turn 3 if we want to. Obviously, you will be in danger of Enchantress, so you are taking a bit of a risk here, but the payoff can be really good if you think your opponent is just playing some big power cards and you really want to hit them with that double Valkyrie on the last turn. So for this gameplay example, we're going to say you just drop Cerebro right on turn 3, and now on turn 4, you're going to be playing that Sentinel plus Luke Cage like I mentioned. Okay, Sentinel really helps us round out our energy curve on turn 4 specifically with this deck, so we really like just making multiple copies of it. Luke Cage is here. He's only 2 power for now, but he will help make sure none of our 3 power cards are having their power lowered by annoying locations or enemy card effects, such as all those high evolutionary cards. Now, if you do have the Valkyrie Arnim Zola combo in hand, this would be a great turn to play Valkyrie on this nice empty location. She's going to be a great target for Zola next turn. But even here, you're going to play Valkyrie. She's going to hit your opponent's cards and bring them down to 3 power. So you might already be getting good value off her right now, and you're going to be getting even better value off her next turn. Turn 6, we're dropping down Zola. Okay, this is what we've been setting up for. This is the fancy, bit unexpected combo. We might really surprise our opponents with this one, especially if they already have priority going into turn 6. This one is really going to hit them hard. And just on your side of the board, this Valkyrie is going to be hitting your Bast and Cerebro in the left lane. It's going to be hitting your Luke Cage in the middle lane. Final state of our board should look something like this if we did go through with this Valkyrie Zola combo. Now everything here is being hit to 3 power, except for Zola. He's actually going to be at 0 still, unless he got hit with Bast when he was in your hand on turn 1. Okay, so Zola did get hit with Bast. He'll have 3 power from Bast, 2 plus Cerebro. He'll just be given a lone 5 power, but that's okay. The right lane is the one we're giving up here. Okay, presumably your opponent is going to be able to beat 5 power on that right lane, but the left and middle lane for you is going to be at 20 and 15. Okay, because Valkyrie has hit all your cards to a base power of 3, and Cerebro is buffing them all up, plus 2, giving them a power of 5. And what's important to note here is that you may, at the same time, be really hurting your opponent. Okay, if your opponent was playing some big power cards, especially if they don't have any ongoing buffs, giving them power, right? If it's just a card that relied on reveal or being powered up over time, something like Angela, Kitty Pryde, or Hitmonkey, Valkyrie will really be taking those cards down a notch, setting them to 3, and you, of course, will be getting a Cerebro buff while they will not be. So that is the main combo game plan in a nutshell. Of course, not every game is going to work out that way, right? You're going to have to mix and match the elements of this deck. Some games will just look like a very standard Cerebro 3 game. Sometimes you may be using Zola on other cards. Sometimes you may have to use Absorbing Man in place of Zola to copy Valkyrie's effects or Shang-Chi or whatever it may be. But that is our game plan. Now let's get into some real live gameplay. Alright, we do have Valkyrie Arnim Zola in hand. We do not like the Shuri's Lab location. That does mess with Cerebro. Okay, and we're against a death deck, and Deadpool is going to get really big. Hopefully, we can bring him down a notch. If we hit him with Valkyrie, it will be very nice. Okay, same thing with Wolverine. My opponent actually has a great location here for their deck. Okay. So one of these locations will become Shuri Lab, so I want to play here right now. And, you know, I do need to play Cerebro at some point. So maybe this is the turn that I actually play Cerebro. Assuming my opponent doesn't have Enchantress because they're playing this whole death deck. I'm gonna just throw out the Cerebro. Get him out nice and early. Turn 4, I can lay down another Sentinel and Luke Cage. And then we're gonna look for that Valkyrie, Arnim Zola. Maybe we throw in Magik first. Magik helps us a little bit. And they are eating that up. That's Deadpool. He is mighty. Okay, so Sherry's Lab is going to switch, and then once it does, I can play on that location. Just like this, very nice. And presumably, I will be losing the game going into the final turn, which is what I want. Yes, normally I would actually probably just snap here, but we're not focused on snapping in this one. We're at infinite. We don't want to scare opponent away. We want to show the deck off, but I would have probably snapped last turn right before putting down Valkyrie. Okay, my opponent's going first. That's perfect. My opponent snapped. We'll actually snap back. Give him a fist bump. If they play multiple cards, it's possible they're ahead of me, but I don't think it's very likely. I'm going to have 3 in each of these lanes, and we're going to be looking pretty good here. Yeah, we just beat them. They got really big power, but that's what Valkyrie's for. Right? If it's not an ongoing effect, if it's just raw power, we are bringing it down. So we'll take those 8 cubes, and we'll be very happy about it. Victory! GG. Okay, we've got Cerebro in hand. That's what we like to see. Xandar is not what we like to see. We will go ahead and Rhino that location. We'll play Bast here just to power up Cerebro. It's only hitting 1 card, but Bast could also be a target for Valkyrie later. I wish we had drawn that Mystique sooner. Then that would have been hit by Bast as well, but we'll see. We'll see how the game develops. Maybe it would have been better to play Sentinel in the middle, so that way we could Mystique on the left and hit Valkyrie, you know, have Valkyrie hit Bast and Mystique, but we don't know what the middle is going to turn into. Right? We do not know what the right location is. It was Titan. Okay, so it would have been fine. I kind of want to play Cerebro here, but I simply need to do this. Could say Valkyrie for the last turn as well. We do not have to go for the Valkyrie Zola combo. We could just save Valkyrie in our hand. Okay, man, Valkyrie's gonna ruin Lizard. I mean, Valkyrie's gonna take Lizard to town. I think we'll go ahead and do this. This looks like a decent move. Could Valkyrie next turn and then Cerebro Mystique if we wanted. Kitty Pride, okay. Ooh, wait a minute. Do I have anything there? I guess I don't. I was thinking maybe I had something, some kind of cheese with that location, but I don't. We can go ahead and just win the middle, I think. He could hit monkey the right, and their hit monkey will be really big, right, with this Carmitage, but we're gonna let happen. Yeah, power up that Angela. Enchantress is okay. We're still gonna set Lizard's power to 3. And we're gonna keep the game going. Okay, this turn we Cerebro Mystique. We have no Enchantress. They literally just played her. So we are very happy about that. We're gonna Cerebro here and Mystique over here, because Mystique has 0 power. This means we have the left lane and the middle lane as our focus. Okay, and we're actually losing going into the last turn because we're only winning the middle lane. There's 0 power on the right. And even when Kitty Pryde gets lost here, we're looking good. Okay. So Shang-Chi is also very good on the left, but this is a pretty straightforward win. I don't need Luke Cage, right? They don't have any fancy shenanigans. They might be regretting playing that Enchantress so early, but we're taking advantage of it. So no Zola needed. Played out like a kind of a standard Cerebro deck with Valkyrie in it. Just very good. And very nice, our Cerebro got hit with Bast. That makes a big difference. Okay, our Valkyrie is actually going to power up that Mysterio, but it won't matter. Killmonger hurts us. We liked our Bast. But it's okay. I think we still dominate here. Kitty Pryde's last card on the middle. There we go. And we took it. Took it very nicely. Not even close in the end. Dominate them. That's what we like to see. Oh. Okay, well, we've got Cerebro. We've got Zola. Rickety Bridge, we don't love. We do not have Colossus in this deck. If we did, that'd be a great location for us. But we're going to have to figure it out. We are against a Destroy deck, presumably. This is an amazing Bast. This Bast is a 110. Okay, she's adding 9 power to my hand, and Bast herself is 1. That's pretty good. I do have to obviously play all the cards to get that full value, but that's nuts. Oof. That really hurts. Mystique is useless. At least she's 3 power, but yeah, that is horrible. We lost Cerebro. Any other card to lose would have been okay. Cerebro is the worst one because that's my ongoing buff to all my cards that get hit by Valkyrie. If my opponent has the same number of cards in their location as I have in mine when I hit Valkyrie, we're just going to be tied on that location. Okay, because that is my ongoing card. My ongoing buff all comes from Cerebro. Okay, we'll just go ahead and just smash this location. We don't want our opponent killing their cards for free. They did lose Death. Okay, Death was discarded by Sokovia. So they're not getting a discount from all their destroyed cards, but, you know, it will still affect Null if we are against a Galactus deck. So let's see what they come up with. I don't have a great play for Arnim Zola right now. Valkyrie could be good, but I also don't have, you know, my 2-drops and Luke Cage and Sentinel adding cards to my locations. You know, my board is pretty empty. Okay, we're going to lose the right because Dracula's nasty. Hopefully we can win the other lanes. Shang-Chi could be nasty. Okay, Shang-Chi could be really good. We're actually going to Magik because I don't have a better play this turn. Fortunately, that location really hurt me, discarding Cerebro. But they played big stuff. Oh, they did the same thing. Wow. Okay, there's our Luke Cage. That's what we like to see. If I am behind going into the final turn, I could Arnim Zola my Shang-Chi. Okay, but again, I need to be behind going into the last turn. So this will make sure we're tied on the right. If they play something big on the left or middle, I will be behind. So I will go second. So let's see what they got. They have an interesting deck. They have Squirrel Girl and Killmonger. They also have Dracula, right? They have a destroy deck, but with Dracula, which you usually don't see it. And we'll see what they're working with. Kind of interesting. Card choices. Okay. I'm going to be... Oh, that's unfortunate. I mean... Killed Dr. Octopus. But unfortunately, I lost my Arnim Zola. It's not bad power, though. Across the board, that is not bad power. I'm gonna go ahead and just Valkyrie here. And we could lose to something big, but we do have 9 in the middle. And we're going to be at 12 on the left. We're ahead by 9 on the left and middle. So our opponent needs to place in this 9 or more power. Let's see what they got. It was Gamora. They did have it. Okay. And he pulled Galactus. So we took the win, even though they played their Dr. Octopus. They did have Galactus in hand, so we will gladly take that one. Okay, we have Cerebro and Mystique to start, and actually these Raptors could help us out, right? We can Valkyrie them. Obviously, it will hit our opponent's Raptors as well, but if we have Cerebro and or Mystique down, then our Raptors will get buffed up, and theirs won't. So, these Raptors, great for Valkyrie. Okay, Nightcrawler, a little interesting there. They cannot move it to the middle. We'll see if they accidentally do that and kill their own Nightcrawler. Okay, so now I have to decide if I want to play Cerebro now and Mystique next turn. And the reason I would do that is if I want to Valkyrie on turn 5 and Zola on 6. I haven't drawn Zola. I think that might be okay. Okay, do have priority, so we're not worried about getting blocked by Cosmo or anything. Now, if I don't have Zola, I could just Valkyrie one lane and then Absorbing Man, another one, plus Sentinel. So, I've got options, but we'll see what they play. It really does depend on what our opponent is putting down. We want to shrink its power with Valkyrie. So let's see what they got. Mr. Fantastic, okay. And Namor. Okay, they're presumably not playing another card over here. That Shang-Chi is going to be nasty. Very, very nice Shang-Chi. I have to think that's my best play. Next turn, Shang-Chi plus Sentinel. We're going to do that. We don't have Zola, so we're going to ditch that whole Arnim Zola plan. And yeah, left play is the best here. They're going to play in the middle, but it is just Iron Man, actually.
Iron Man.
There we go. We buffed their Nightcrawler. Interestingly enough. There's our Zola. We actually did draw at the end, but Iron Man might beat us anyway, so it's kind of good that we did not have Zola last turn. Okay, I think we've won the left, probably losing the middle. Let's just do this. Let's kill this Namor. Hopefully they don't play anything there. If they do, he goes down to 5 power, and he does dodge Shang-Chi. But if not, that's a free lane. So unless they're winning the left, they should probably assume I have Shang-Chi because he is 3 power. They can see as clear as day I have a Cerebro 3 deck. But we'll see what they do. They're taking their time, deciding if they want to continue or retreat, and they did.
Victory.
So, we've been an easy hook, line, sinker there with the Shang-Chi. We'll take that win. Okay, Shuri's Lab normally is bad for us. I say normally, it still is. But we can go ahead and play Bast there, and Bast is hitting Arnim Zola and Cerebro. Very nice. And we've got these combo cards, right? We could Zola on Valkyrie or Cerebro. Okay, it's looking like it's going to be Valkyrie with that ninja popping up. Remember, we cannot play any 3 power cards on the left. I mean, we could if we planned a Valkyrie later. opponent probably knows what we're up to. Okay, they have Spider-Man. A little interesting. We're going to think about what we're going to do. We'll go ahead and we'll just play Cerebro this turn. Yeah, let's do it. See what they got for us. Okay, it's a Lockjaw deck. This Killmonger looks pretty juicy. It does kill my Bast. I'm actually really worried about losing the left lane if I do my Valkyrie combo. I simply don't have enough cards there. Right? I mean, I just don't. I do not have enough cards on the left. We'll go ahead and do this, and we'll figure it out next turn. That's the way to go. Just figure it out next turn. Okay, Spider-Man's fine. Don't care too much about him. We're going to Rhino this and Sentinel and see what our opponent does if they thought they're getting their power doubled. They actually had kind of a cheap deck for Lockjaw. Okay, they played Nebula, Electro, and Lockjaw, and Spider-Man. I mean, not big power cards. So a little interesting. I wonder where they're going with that. Okay, nope. Maybe they thought I couldn't play there. I had to play in the middle because of the doubling power. Okay, and that is a very simple problem. We are going to Valkyrie. I think we can get away with just Valkyrie. I mean, we don't have any other options, really. I think that's okay. So, let's do it. Opponent snapped. They're feeling confident. I don't know how they're going to add more than 15 power to the middle, unless it's a high Evo Hulk. But we'll have to see what they come up with. They seem to think they have something. And they won the right. I'm obviously not even playing cards there. But I do have a lot of power in the middle, and they just retreated. Victory! They realized they just lose to Shang-Chi, and they ran away. So, we'll take it. Thank you for watching. Remember to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time.